What about, oh, no, I'm not going to ask you because you're going to say something about Raw Fusion. Okay, what's your favorite rap jam?
It's yours. That's old. No one is gonna know that.
T.Y. Rock. Can't Touch This by MC Hammer.
Okay, and why do you like that one?
Because it's raging and he's funky. Funky dance steps.
No, okay, no, but there's parents out there listening to this that think he's serious. Why is the audience laughing? I want to ask you, why do so many people get on Hammer? I mean, the man sold 10 million records.
I'm not getting on Hammer, and I'm not going to say he did sell 10 million records, but crack fiends bought 10 million rocks. That don't mean crack is good. Don't mean nothing. Selling records don't mean nothing. The reason, I mean, I'm down with him because he's a brother and he's making his mail. But, however, he's diluting rap. You know what I'm saying? He's playing that Sambo role, and the reason everybody's buying his record is because he's no threat, and everybody want to see Sambo dance.
You see, Tupac always got in trouble for his big mouth. Now, Pac's big mouth rolled off a check his ass couldn't cash. No. I know a lot of y'all young people probably see Tupac and think, man, Pac would have just said, West Side. He wasn't that Tupac at that time. He was more East Coast at this time. His records and everything was mostly East Coast revolutionary rap. And his album, Apocalypse Now, was out. It was doing okay, but it was going to end up probably selling 400,000 copies, if that. You know, it's not going to be something that's going to be remembered. So he's out on the press tour. Hammer selling 10 million records, you know, lapping Apocalypse Now. And he's lapping hip hop. He's a mega star. He's selling out arenas from place to place. Before this is even a thing, like 7 years and 8 years down the road for any other rapper. He's crossed over to an extreme where they accept him. And I told you the entire hip hop turned against him when they were allying him on the first album. Second album, they had to hate, because if this stands, I told you why they were doing it. If they embrace MC Hammer, that means it's all going to change for them. They going to have to learn some dance steps. They going to have to start doing more non-profanity rap. And they going to be, wait a minute. Now I can't say what I got to say. They changing the rules because they said, look what Hammer did. You see what I'm saying? So that narrative never changed. They wanted to condense everything down to a format of what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable in our standards of how we move. They want to say MC Hammer is what we should aspire to be, more like him. And that guy, Hammer, was outstanding, you know. Always the ultimate gentleman. Okay, he was a professional. He never took anything for granted. He did everything the way it was supposed to go. You never were going to have a problem with MC Hammer on his shows. You were going to actually have to be there when it takes place and see how it proceeds. And you're going to be, I think people were pretty excited with the finished product of what they got with MC Hammer, with the music, because nobody seemed to hate the album. That's the thing that got me. It's like nobody hates the album. So if nobody hates the album, what are we talking about? Oh yeah. So I've often said this is a situation that was clear, it was concise, and a lot of people just didn't know about it. So mhm. Well, it's like this. When you start thinking about hip hop and what it took place because of that, let me tell you what happened with Pac. Pac said that and came back home. Now, even though he's like been around Digital Underground, most of his connections in hip hop is around the East Coast. All his main friends was East Coast. Even though he cool back in the West, he ain't really as West Coast as people thought. You know, they still look at him like an East Coaster. Like Public Enemy, Bomb Squad, them dudes. So he vibed with them. Tretch, Naughty by Nature. He was in Juice. It's like they looked at him as an East Coast MC. If you'd told me Pac was from the West Coast at that time, nobody would have probably believed you. Even in LA, they called him, in the West Coast, they called him MC New York. Calling him MC New York. Because he was pretty much predominantly vibing with that environment. Now, as things start to change for him when he came home, he had a crib he was staying in, like right in Oakland. He had an apartment. It was a little smaller apartment or whatever. Once this statement was made, they broke in. I mean, he ain't had much there. You know what I'm saying? He had some t-shirts, some hats, some stuff from tour. They just robbed his crib. And that's because he didn't know about MC's Hammer's brother, which he should have known about them. He was very unaware of MC Hammer. He remembered Hammer when he first was out doing his thing, but he never vibed with them. But he never knew whose MC Hammer's family and connection was, and Hammer's cousin, and all of them. And they came right for Pop. Robbed his crib. Most people, only people that know is the people that really, really know. Robbed his crib. They didn't really take nothing. They just broke shit. Like his CD broke his CD thing up, broke his TV. He had a radio. He didn't have much furniture. They just turned shit over. They was just letting him know, F you. And you got a problem. So when he came back, he realized, he saw what happened. Like, they was like, dude, why did you say that about Hammer? He was like, you saying what them East Coast dudes saying about Hammer. You live here, B. But see, these were the same sentiments that Dr. Dre had and all the rest of these guys, and they all came together and did something. Because Eazy-E and Above the Law and all of them got involved, and they had to have a talk with Pac, and Pac went and got them because he was doing a show and they wanted to get him. You know what I'm saying? So Eazy-E and the rest of them, Above the Law, I don't know which members it was that knew them guys, said, hey, brother made a mistake, let these brothers squash that. We don't need that here on the West Coast. We're going to come together. And, they had just Eazy-E, they kind of put that to the side because it was Dr. Dre and Doc who had the problem with them before, DOC. DOC was the one saying all that crap. And they made the skit about MC Hammer. That wasn't Eazy-E's call. That was their call. Dre and DOC when they did the formula and they making fun of MC Hammer. and Ice Cube and all them, they were making fun of him. Talking about you that flip-flopped and all this stuff. So Cube always told Hammer, of course he's gonna lie, it's Ice Cube. He was, no, I wasn't dissing you. I'm just saying in general, these other dudes. So of course Cube gonna lie. So Cube went and did that, and he went into another direction and decided that we're gonna move along in this process of trying to dilute the public's image of what's going on. We're going to do our own self-destruction against crime and drugs, which was right up MC Hammer's alley. Like, yeah, let's do that. Like, because we all in the same gang. And this was during the time they talking about the peace treaty, with what went on with Rodney King, and all of these things are starting to to come together. There's too much crime going on. So in LA, it was crazy with Rampart scandals and everything. So the way the police was operating with like no jurisdiction, no real punishment for their crimes, Furman on the loose. They didn't like blacks doing anything. So Hammer had addressed this before they had this sit down. Let me show you what happened.
He's clean. I think he's an inspiration for the young people. PG, I think. Positive rap.
If MC Hammer is anything, it's a savvy marketer. His music has a little something for everybody. The old melodies he uses pull in the parents. The rap lyrics he adds grab the kids. And because he's a religious man, there are no four-letter words in his act. His broad appeal makes hardcore rappers say,
once you are a pop success in rap, they call you a sellout.
are you a rapper or not?
Well, in one unescapable aspect, yes, and that is the fact that I don't sing. I'm not singing my lyrics, I'm rapping. But in every other aspect, the answer is no, I'm not a rapper. I entertain. I say that in not meaning any disrespect to other rappers or other rap artists, just saying if you want to continue to say what you is pure rap and so forth, okay, you have that, you can have that. You take the Chevrolet, I'll take the Mercedes. This is what I wear on stage normally, and when I don't wear this, I just wear the Porsche. What kind of deal we talking about? Money all? 500, no tax, straight out the door.
The discipline Hammer learned in baseball and the military have been channeled into his performing life. Before this tour, he put his dancers through the same grueling routine he put himself through. 4 miles of running, 8 hours of dancing a day.
When I was out there running, I was thinking a lot of times about all my competitors. And their records be going through my mind. I'd say to myself, gotta go further, gotta run further. So I can do a better show.
And on that note, it's time to get it started.
So they were offended by that interview. And most of the rappers said, you're a sellout. Look at all them white people at your shows. So that's how back in those days in the 90s, people see that on TV and go, oh man, Hammer is sold out. Y'all deal with the Chevrolet or whatever, and I got the Mercedes. It's like, oh man, you been sold out for the money. And back in those days, everybody's wearing red, black, and green medallions and all of that. It was a big movement. So anything that resembled like you're selling out, people just gonna turn on you. And it became awful for MC Hammer after selling 10 million records. His next album, he spent so much money on the record and it didn't sell that much. The black people had pretty much turned against it with the Too Legit to Quit, and other rappers is just like, yeah, that MC Hammer stuff, they talking about it and trying to make it uncool to like Hammer, because the more you stay with MC Hammer, like, you're gonna have to change your rap to basically some of that format. And LL Cool J was dissing Hammer, but his performances started to emulate some of Hammer's stuff in there. He got with Marley Marl. Next thing you know, I'm singing Jiggling Baby. LL's dancing. He's dancing like MC Hammer in the goddamn video. I'm like, you dissing this man and you dancing like Hammer in the house party. I'm like, LL's in the house party and he's dancing. And it was crazy because we all used to dance. Like dancing was our thing back then. It was not uncool to be dancing. The lames was the ones on the wall, standing there, wasn't doing nothing. The people that was dancing, those are the people they wanted to be around. If you was with the chicks, shoot, what Kid was doing from Kid and Play, baby, those were the moves. You had to be able to do that. Hit them steps. Man, we was getting it in back in those days. Shoot, I was athletic. I played football as a sport, so I was very athletic. So I could do all those dances. In Detroit, they taught me the school craft. We was doing the school craft. We was doing the dance that they just named the MC Hammer, which was a bunch of combination moves that Hammer did. We had the big old Hammer pants. We were the ones making it work. So, yeah, those were the days, man. That's right. Remember those days, they were good. But no violence came after this. They had a conversation. And from that day on, Pac apologized. He said, "My bad, brother. I didn't know what all you did for the community." He's like, "I was just trying to really," he's like, "I was going off what I see. And I was just trying to keep my name next to yours because, shoot, I'm trying to sell my album." That's what he told him. "I'm trying to sell my album." He was like, "That's good marketing." It's like Tupac said something about MC Hammer. "You sold 10 million records." He's like, "I'm trying to sell 10 million records." He's like, "I'm just trying to get another 50,000 shipped." He's like, and it worked. He's like, people started buying my album more. And then when my homie calls come out, you know, I got my second single, all off of the controversy. I got my second single released. And he was like, we shot the video ourselves. He's like, but they weren't even gonna give me a budget for a second video on the album. But all the controversy when we was making our promo run, they saw that when the MC Hammer and Pac situation, what I said. So Fields cut the check. So just a little moment in hip hop history. Nothing happened that was dramatic. Nothing happened that anybody got hurt. Conversations was had back then. So this is what you get to learn, people, from each other. You can have conversations. You could disagree with somebody. It's okay. You don't have to go take somebody's life. But third base almost lost their life. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole different situation when you come to the Bay and you diss somebody from the Bay. It's going to be a difficult situation for you because they take that very serious. So they was like, "We don't diss y'all. Don't diss us. We're not LA. We don't do that." Yeah, well, those times were deep. You know, right? There was conversations that had to be had. Pac was an MC, he wasn't a gangbanger. You know what I'm saying? That's what people got it wrong. He was gang affiliated. He knew a lot of people that was in gangs. They were street dudes. You know, so he wasn't a gangbanger. He wasn't out there banging. Pac was making music, getting in the studio, the tour, and everything. So Pac ended up losing his crib anyway. He took all his stuff, packed it up in a garbage bag, took it to his boy's crib, and was like, "Hey, y'all got my stuff? Yeah, can I keep it here? You know, I'm gonna hit y'all when I get back. Hit y'all with some money just for having my stuff, like basically for storage." So he ain't have an apartment no more. So he was like, "I'm never here." It's not that he couldn't afford it. It's just that he's like, "I'm never here. I'm on the road 6-7 months, so I'm paying rent for nothing. I'd rather pay you guys, you know, just to store my, you know." So that's all he do. He crashing at people's houses anyway. So it's like, what am I doing with this apartment? So packed up all his stuff, took it to his boy's house in Marin City, dropped it off, just threw it in a closet, whatever. And it just sat there while he was out doing shows on tour, doing Apocalypse Now. Doing his press run. Well, it was weird because nobody really believed in his rap career. That's something else, another thing they ain't gonna tell you about. None of these dudes believed in Pac as no rapper. They didn't. They was just like, oh, okay, he trying to rap. Oh, look at Pac, he trying to rap, get his little rap thing, They thought he would be an actor more than anything. Hopefully he'd do something on stage, but a rapper, they never saw that from Pac. They just like, okay, he making some tapes just for people in the hood. But once he got a record deal, he was doing with Digital Underground. He just thought, okay, he'll be a dancer, get on there and do some stage stuff, and then he's got his own album, Tupac, Apocalypse Now, and all this. That's when all these other family members started to come around that ain't really been there. I mean, really, they ain't been around when they were struggling and going through help and needing help. They were nowhere to be found. He was like, I remember being cold, and they had nothing for to eat, or on my plate, no food. Christmas, we didn't even expect it. We didn't get no Christmas tree. We're not even getting a gift. Other kids opening up, we watching TV, and the kids are opening up gifts for Christmas, and we like, wow, look at that. And they over here, our other family, they, wherever they is in their life, just Christmas trees, toys, all of this. We got nothing. They ain't even checking on us. So I was spiteful to them all these years for that. That's what Pac felt towards his other family, because they weren't checking for him. He's like, after we went to the West Coast, to Marin City, it was like we was dead to them. That's how he felt. So he had a bitterness that he had carried. So, but when they was around, he wanted to have them around because he was good to have family, and that's just how it was. So it's a little lesson for you guys, for the younger generation, people that don't know how things used to work back in the day. People actually used to have to conversate, and it was actually get people, they sat down, they talked, and then there was a level of respect had between people because they sat down and talked and had a conversation. And because of that line of respect, things can change, and people will grow. And you would never know that Hammer and Pac had beef before. Nobody knew. They were like so close and like brothers. And he was like, man, he's like, I remember you selling all these records. I remember how they treated you and all this and that. And he was like, I owe it to you, because I felt without you, what would I be? He was like, you the ones came up and sold 10 million records. You showed people how to be a businessman. Before we even knew what this was, you was getting the money. I'm like, what the hell is that? It was true. So the rest of the world had to catch up and grow up real fast. And when Hammer signed with Death Row, him and Pac was close. Yeah. They were close. Hammer was glad to see Pac. He was like, "Man, you are entirely different than when than I remember you years ago." Like he's like, "You dressing like me now. You looking like I used to be dressed." Yeah, Pocket became a grown man. He's like, "Man, you become a grown man." You know the way he dressed. He's dressed upward now. He wasn't just blue jeans and khakis and sagging the pants with the gym shoes. And he was actually dressing up, and that changed a lot of people's perspective of him when he started changing his appeal. He started wearing suits and started being taken seriously as an artist. So that now that Hammer was over there with them at Death Row, that was basically Suge just saying that's gonna take care of tax reasons right there. But Hammer was ridiculed and destroyed all for helping people. You know what I'm saying? So Pac thought that's the least I could do is extend my hand out to this brother and give him a song, even though I'm the one on top. I'm selling 5 million records now. I remember when he was selling 10, and they could have really, destroyed me at that time if he wanted to. And he didn't choose to do that. So he showed love to MC Hammer. Because, like he said, I was a young, immature man. He said, I was a young, immature boy. I ain't had no training. All I had was my big mouth. And I just would fire it off. That's all I got. He's like, my OGs is in jail. He's like, my pop's in jail. All my OGs is locked up or dead. So who's telling me, hey, that's not right? You shouldn't say that. Like you should have did it this way, or, sit down and have a conversation with that man. That dude is paving the way and, opening up lanes and opening up money in a position, he's taking a sacrificial position. He's now opening the doors to where these racist white people will at least open the doors up for hip hop, saying, well, damn, if Hammer's doing that, then why can't I do that? So he just gave people another option. Not everybody have to curse on their records. You have an option. Like he said, I'm not pure rap, cool. Y'all go be with pure rap. Whatever this lane is, this is me. This is what I want. And I can respect that. So anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a blessed day. Appreciate the love and support. Don't forget to like the video. Y'all been here all this time, and y'all should already know that. My Cash App is Carcino. We appreciate y'all for all the love and support you shown. And we out.